Ho 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my next video on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, where we're finally getting to another deck profile. This is for Crystal Beasts. Let's get into this. Alright, so different people have different ways of building Crystal Beasts, so this is my rendition of the beasts. So, starting off with our 2 copies of Elemental Hero Neos, which is a level 7, 2500 attack, 2000 defense, warrior normal monster. So no effect, but we're going to be using this as a fusion requirement for Rainbow Neos, which is a very good card in this deck. We're running 2 copies of Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat. With its effect, this card can attack your opponent directly, but when it uses this effect, any battle damage is inflicted to your opponent is halved. If this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, you can place it face-up in your spell and trap card zones as a continuous spell instead of sending it to the graveyard, which is the normal floating effect of the Crystal Beasts. 1 copy of Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon as many Crystal Beast monster cards as possible from your spell and trap zones. Excuse me. And again, it has the same floating effect as the others. Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise, we're running 1 copy of this. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster you control that attack this turn, change that target to defense position, and again, the normal Crystal Beast floating effect. 1 copy of Crystal Beast Amber Mammoth. When another Crystal Beast monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can change the attack target to this card, and again, normal floating effect. Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 400 attack during the damage step only, and again, normal floating effect. We're running 1 copy of Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle. Once per turn, you can target 1 Crystal Beast card you control, place that target on the top of the deck, and again, normal floating effect. And we're running 3 copies of Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. When this card is summoned, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap zones as a continuous spell, and again, normal floating effect. We're also running 1 copy of Advanced Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger. If Advanced Dark is not in the monster field zone, send this card to the graveyard. All Advanced Crystal Beast monsters you control gain 400 attack and defense. Also, monsters your opponent controls lose 400 attack and defense, and again, normal floating effect. And Advanced Crystal Beast Amber Mammoth. If Advanced Dark is not in the field zone, send this card to the graveyard. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a cover effect, blah blah blah, and then normal floating effect. Now, we're not actually running Advanced Dark to take advantage of those effects. The whole goal of this is to get them to summon to destroy themselves, to get them to the graveyard. That's the primary goal for them, just to get more Crystal Beast fodder into the graveyard. We're also running 2 copies of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. If this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, you can place it face-up your spell or trap cards. Instead of sending it to the graveyard, you can only activate this effect once per turn. And there's also another effect. When an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card, treat it as a continuous spell, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Crystal Beast monster from your deck. But it gets effects if you do add 1 ultimate crystal monster from your deck to your hand. So, really powerful effects coming from this thing. Really useful to have. We don't run 3 though, because 3 is kind of a brick, especially if you draw 2 in like your opening hand. It's a very hard brick. We're running 2 copies of Standard Rainbow Dragon. This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card. Cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on your field and or in your graveyard. This card cannot activate the effects the following turn it is special summoned. Quick effect, you can send all Crystal Beast monsters you control to the graveyard. This card gains 1000 attack for each monster you send. Banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard, shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. So it has some pretty powerful effects for it to have. Now you can either summon this or you can go for your Rainbow Neos play. Either one will work. 2 copies of Crystal Beacon. Special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You must have 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone to activate and resolve this effect. 2 copies of Crystal Abundance. Send 4 Crystal Beast cards from your spell and trap zones to the graveyard. Send as many cards on the field as possible to the graveyard. Then special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your graveyard up to the number of cards sent from your opponent's field to the graveyard by this card's effect. So this is a great way to go for an OTK if you're able to with enough Crystal Beasts. Crystal Bond, which is 3 copies. Add 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand and place 1 Crystal Beast monster with a different name from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zones as a continuous spell. You can only activate 1 Crystal Bond per turn. 3 copies of Neos Fusion. Special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists exactly 2 monsters as material, including Elemental Hero Neos, by sending those monsters from your hand, deck, or field, ignoring its summoning conditions. For the rest of this turn, if this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters. If the fusion monster you control that lists Elemental Hero Neos' material will be destroyed by battle or card effect, or shuffled into the extra deck by its own effect, banish this card from the graveyard instead. So not only does this allow you to get out Rainbow Neos, but it also allows you to give it a layer of protection by banishing it if someone tries to destroy it, essentially. But running 3 copies of Golden Rule, this card is always treated as a crystal card. Place 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your deck face up in your spell and trap zones as continuous spells, then special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand or graveyard with a different name than those cards, and if you do equip it with this card, when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. You don't activate 1 per turn. This is a great way to get Crystal Beasts out onto the field, so you can use them for fodder to summon Rainbow Dragon, or for other crystal card effects. 2 copies of Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. You must have this many Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone to activate and resolve these effects. So 1+, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. 2+, once per turn, including you, the opponents, you can halve the battle damage you take. 3+, when a spell/trap card is activated, you can send 1 Crystal Beast monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation if you destroy it. 4+, once per turn, during your main phase, you can draw 1 card. And 5, once per turn, during your main phase, you can target 1 Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap card zone, and special summon that target. So it gives you a bunch of wacky different effects, but it's not the main play of the deck, but it is there to give you support. We're running 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, and during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Crystal Beast monster. In addition to your normal summon set, you can only gain this effect once per turn. You can only use the effect of Rainbow Bridge of Heart once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 Crystal Beast card you control and 1 in your hand. And if you do, add 1 Crystal Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. If a Crystal Beast card is placed in your spell and trap card zone, even during the damage step, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, return both that card and this card to the hand. So it's a great way to do some board control, as well as to go for more Crystal Beast plays. 1 copy of Call by the Grave. This is just, again, to start countering your opponent. And 3 copies of Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. So reveal 1 ultimate crystal monster in your hand, then activate one of these effects. If you control an ultimate crystal monster, you can activate 1 or 2 of these effects in sequence instead and do not have to reveal a monster. Take 1 Rainbow Bridge card or 1 Rainbow Refraction from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or spell and trap card zone. You can only activate this effect once per turn. It's a great way, again, for more board control, as well as to go ahead and get Rainbow Bridge or Rainbow City, H-City Rainbow Ruins, essentially, which is great. And for the extra deck, we're running 2 copies of Rainbow Neos. So its effect, it has a bunch of effects, to be fair, but essentially, you can only activate 1 of these effects once per turn. You can send 1 monster you control to the graveyard, shuffle all monsters your opponent controls into the deck, send 1 spell or trap card to the graveyard, shuffle all spells and traps your opponent controls into the deck, or send 1 card from the top of your deck to the graveyard, shuffle all cards from your opponent's graveyard into the deck. So it has some monstrous effects and protection thanks to Neos Fusion. Then we're running 2 copies of Rainbow Overdragon, so it just requires 7 Crystal Beast monsters. This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card. It must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 1 level 10 ultimate crystal monster. So you can special summon this just by getting rid of Rainbow Dragon through its effect. It's great. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Crystal Beast monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the banished monsters till the end of the turn. And as a quick effect, you contribute this fusion summon, shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. So the primary thing for the Overdragon is to shuffle, to get all cards on the field back into the deck, so you can then float back in with other crystal card effects. Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon. Overdrive. So this is the main boss monster of the deck. 1 ultimate crystal monster plus 7 crystal beast monsters must be special summoned from your extra deck. During a duel, you special summoned an ultimate crystal monster by banishing the above monsters from your field and or graveyards. While 7 or more of your crystal beast monsters with different names are banished, this card gains 7,000 attack. If this card is not battled this turn, quick effect, you contribute this card, shuffle as many cards to the field as possible in the deck, and if you do, special summon any number of your banished crystal beast monsters. So not only can you shuffle into the deck, but then you can also summon as many Crystal Beasts as you can. And of course, you get a 7,000 attack point boost just in case you don't use that effect. So you go up to 11,000 attack. This thing is an absolute tank. 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus. I should actually be running this at 2 because we're only at 14, but 1 copy. So 2 monsters of different names. This is where we get into the link plays. This card is link summoned. You can discard 1 card, target 1 special summon monster in your opponent's main monster zone, destroy it. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw 1 card. You activate it once per turn. Co-linked monsters you control can destroy by card effects. 3 copies of Nightmare Phoenix, 2 monsters with different names. If this card is link summoned, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw 1 card. You activate it once per turn, and co-linked monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So this is not only great for destroying spells and traps, which is some of the best meta playing, but you also get to discard. So if you've got crystals you want to send to the graveyard, you can do it with that. We're in 1 copy of Decode Talker, just 2+ effect monsters, gain 500 attack for each monster it points to. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster this card points to negate the activation, you do destroy that card. So only is this a decent beat stick that's easy to get out, but you also get the ability to attribute monsters that it points to and negate activation of card effects, which is really cool. 1 copy of Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow. This is just 2+ monsters, and it's just literally there to get a beat stick on the field if you can't. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 2+ monsters with different names. If this card is link summoned, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card in the field, shuffle it into the deck. Then if this card was co-linked with an effect, when this effect was activated, you can draw 1 card. You can activate once per turn. While any co-linked Nightmare monsters are on the field for your normal draw, in your draw phase, draw 1 card for each different card named among those co-linked Nightmare monsters, instead of just drawing 1 card. If you have this in the main one, and then you link it with, I don't know, Nightmare Phoenix, you'll get to draw 2 cards in your draw phase, not just 1, so it's a decent card. And then 1 copy of Saryuja Skull Dread, 2+ monsters with different names. This card gains effects based on the number of materials used for its link summon. If a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, that monster gains 300 attack defense. So that's if 2+. If 3+, once per turn, during your main phase, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. And with 4, when this card is link summoned, you can draw 4 cards, then place 3 cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's a great way to pop a bunch of different effects off, but it's also a good way to just redraw a hand if you have a bad hand, which is very nice to do. But this is my take on a Crystal Beast deck. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Don't forget you can also support the channel completely for free just by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really does help the channel. Don't forget you can also support the channel even further by becoming a channel member from as little as 99 pence per month. And don't forget I do live stream. When I go live here on YouTube and on Twitch. My streams here on YouTube are in the shorts form feed, more for mobile. If you want to catch the exact same streams at the exact same time in full 1080p, feel free to join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below.